I call this business is like, it's in the margins of my life. It's between patients. It's a phone call here, a couple emails here, like I'm very available to answer questions and things about it, but it's always like in the middle of my day. It doesn't take a lot of time out of my life at all on a day off or anything. So that's what's kind of nice about it. It fits in my life. So
Yeah, it's similar, with my website and, the podcast and whatever I'm doing. I do it in between patients, kind of in the gaps. And I find it to be such a great distraction from the office. So, when I'm done with a patient, I'll go back and, answer some emails or do something on my website, and the day just flies by because I'm always busy. And it's not just patients or dealing with the business of the dental office. It's a great distraction to have something else going on. Do you find that as well?
oh, absolutely. Yes. Or it's not overwhelming. It's like a nice change of pace to be able to do something and be excited about something that's not drill. I mean, as dentists, it's hard because, you're only making money when you're actually working, right? So it's nice to have something else that kind of goes on its own as well. And then it also fills in that time between that's different. And it's pretty easy as far as dentistry is demanding and, you're just in with the patient. And I always tell people that they don't really understand it. Like you got to do your best work every single time at every moment of every day, all day long. And that's exhausting. So this is not like that. This is answering emails. It's not hard work. So it's kind of nice to have it time filler as well.
I compare dentists to like NFL kickers. You're expected to kick that extra point. When you do, it's your job. And if you miss, then, that's your fault and it's a problem. So you have to have, your best game and always be on. And that patient needs your undivided attention, while you're with them. And it's exhausting. It is, the trade shows, and who knows if those are going to be coming back. And if they do, are they going to still be, virtual or hybrids or, but, to get a booth and sit there for the whole weekend, it's a lot of time you're investing, and it must be exhausting, sitting there at one of those booths and trying to, sell your product to every dentist that walks by.
Yeah. Dentists, I don't know if you know this, that they're cheap. That's what I learned. I learned that at the first trade show I went to. It was like, wow, I just didn't really understand. Like dentists as a whole, they always want a deal. So you always got to have a special.
That's why I created my website.
They like specials. I mean, yeah, your whole website is based off that. So that's good. Good people.
And it's so true. And it comes from the fact that, we were trained clinically, but we had no training in business. And we're one of the rare professions where you can have a very successful business with absolutely no business or accounting background. So dentists are notoriously cheap. But, is it that we don't really know any better? I mean, this is, not the business side is not anything we were trained in. So I can see, why that, is the way it is. And I've talked to, when I was developing my website, I talked to a lot of sales reps, and some were in dentistry, some were out of dentistry. And the ones that were out of dentistry and in medical sales, they said, working with dentists is great because we're the CEOs, we're the owners, and we can get a decision. We're the decision makers. Where if you're trying to sell to a hospital or even a medical office, there's so many levels and so much red tape that it's hard to get to the decision maker. But dentists, a lot of times they're set in their ways. They're used to doing things, one way, and they don't want to change. So it's a tough sell. Also, a lot of them would wait until the trade show for, the trade show price. So, I could see, dentists are, we're a different breed, as I said.
Have you ever thought about the other thing too, is that like when it works against you being the CEO, like the patient is like dealing with the owner of the company all the time, right? Where normally, like if they have a complaint, that's why I think emotionally it's hard to be a dentist too. Like you field everything, you get it all, right? Where I think if you owned a grocery store, like you'd have a manager underneath you, like all these layers underneath you, but it's like they're right at you all the time. And I think a lot of people like out of dentistry don't understand that, what it's like to be like make all the back end decisions, but then also you're on the front end, you're like the face of the business, you are dealing with patients, and when things don't go perfect, it's like they're talking to the owner. So which gives you the power to help and do things, but it's also adds a little layer of complexity and, stress to your life. So
Just another hat and another layer of stress.
very early on, and this is my advice I give a lot of dentists, is like, I work with a company in Texas, and I don't get anything from them other than I'm just a client, but it's called Kane Waters, and it doesn't have to be them, but it's basically a dental financial planning company, and they manage kind of my life as far as, hey, you need to have this much disability insurance, like, oh, you need to have this much overhead insurance, oh, your fluoride should be this price, like, oh, you need to produce, oh, you basically kind of pick how you want to live your life, and they manage around you a plan for your entire life, which one, stress, like that decreases stress. Some people think a budget or a plan is like stressful. I think not having a budget is stressful. Like, I know how much I need to save to retire at X year with X lifestyle, right? So having that, and then having someone that has my back and has come up with like, oh, have this insurance. Oh, by the way, you need to pay your disability insurance out of your home checking account with post-tax dollars, so that when you get on disability, it's not taxed, like stuff like that. So right now I'm sitting at, 3 months out of not working, and I haven't got a dime from disability yet, but I know that it's all coming in and it's retroactive. And I'm just very thankful that I had that in place and had a team in place that's like looking out for me and wanting to take care of me and have like protect my business. So yeah.
So do they also hold your disability insurance as well?
No, they
Or do
don't
they
hold
just
it.
advise
They
you?
just tell you how much you should have, right? And so, there's a point where it's like diminishing returns, like you're paying too much to get too much when you don't really need that. And then, yeah, so they just kind of like facilitate a plan for you. Like, you should have this much, they'll even look at my car insurance and be like, yeah, you can afford a higher deductible to get your monthly payment down, all the way every part of my life, which is a great, and if you could have that early on, I don't know. It's funny. My guy uses me as like a example, because I like someone to tell me what to do. Like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't want to think about it and come up with the plan. I just want to execute it. So, he has a guy that's kind of like a patient. You have patients that come in every 6 months and they have a treatment plan and they do nothing. And you're like, you're paying me to tell you what to do with my expertise. So he has another guy that started the same time I did. And he doesn't ever do anything. He doesn't save like he's supposed to. He doesn't put money in his 401k. He doesn't profit share. He doesn't do all that. And so like he uses like our graph, like with no names on it, of like, wow, it actually works. So, I mean, my wrist is a perfect example. Like, this could have been a huge hardship. And because I had that stuff in place and have a plan and have savings and have rainy day fund, all that stuff, all with the help of someone helping me do that, has been a great blessing in my life. So
How often do you meet with them? Is it like once a year, or do you just email
I
them
do
as
like
needed?
a full day once a year, and then it's quarterly phone calls.